Hello! Almost no one in the community plays with their backup weapon. All my homies say backup weapons. I go in different forums and read pages upon pages of people hating on using backup weapons. But why? What if I told you guys that you can get infinite stamina in demon mode if you use a backup weapon? What if I said that you can get up to 8 sleeps or 7 paralysis procs on even the most terrifying monsters of Monster Hunter? Oh, you're not interested?
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Well, what if I said 30% bonus power and 15% bonus affinity? Well, in this video, I'm gonna cover all the best options you have for your backup weapon, and no matter what weapons you use, there will be an option for you. This guide is comprehensive, so if you see a very simple thing, doesn't mean that there's no new information here. So watch until the end, and I promise you, you'll walk away a changed hunter. So unless you are a speedrunner and you sweat for every second of your fight, sit back, relax, and let me transform you into the most likable hunter in Monster Hunter. Seriously, the real life gemmas are gonna be drooling all over you after this. But before we get into all of that, I just want to thank all the people who supported me, especially the previous video. You all killed it. I almost got 200 more subs just on the last video. I'm still trying to reach 1k though, so please, if you enjoy the videos, hit the sub button and help me reach that 1k so I can at least buy a sandwich every video I make. But that's about it, boys. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So the very first option we have is a hunting horn. In the demo, many players use the hunting horn just for the attack up large buff, but that is not even a fraction of the power hunting horn has as a secondary weapon. There are 3 reasons why a hunting horn backup weapon is busted. Number 1 is that the buffs that you get stays with you even if you switch your weapon. The same goes for the echo bubbles that you put on the ground. Number 2 is that it isn't only about you, you're giving the same buff effects to everyone else around you. And number 3 is that some of these effects straight up outperform even a broken skill like Agitator and give insane effects like literally infinite stamina to dual blades and bow users. First though, we have to understand what songs are the best. Any hunting horn comes with many song effects, but they also can give you the effects from their unique echo bubble, and I'm gonna go over the most useful effects right now. First, I wanna go over the song effects, but very important tips that help both veterans and new players if you're not that good with the hunting horn. Each hunting horn has 3 notes. The first note is your first attack keybind, second note is your secondary attack keybind, and the third note is the combination of these 2. You can punch in the combination of the songs you see on the top right of your screen using these, and then use the special attack button to perform. But the tip here is that we're using the horn as a backup option, so we want to perform as fast as possible, and the way you do that is ending your note before the performance by a jab note, which can have any of the 3 notes in it. Again, this is a hunting horn guide, so I won't go into details about this, and you can leave a comment if you have any questions, but essentially doing this will make you do a special performance that is faster than your normal performances, and essentially your hunter puts the horn in an erect position and performs. The other thing is that if you don't encore this song by pressing the special weapon button again after you perform, the buff will be yellow, meaning that you got a lesser version of it, whereas if you encore the song, you get a much more powerful version of the buff indicated by a purple color. But going over the song buffs, we have the infamous attack up small and large. The small version of this can give you up to 2.7% or 4.5% depending on if you use the encore or not, whereas the large attack up can give you 4.5% but then 10% for the encore version. This isn't the end of the attack up, and we will get more of this when we cover the bubble effects. Next, we have the defense up again, a small and large, but I only include the large version since the small version is a joke. Defense up large can give you up to 15% or 20% extra defense if you encore. Next up, we have the elemental attack boost, giving the same exact 10% as attack up large, but this time for the element of your weapon. A status attack up is the same as element attack up, but for status, and it gives 15% extra status on encore. Affinity songs, which is only available on 2 horns at the moment, give up to 15% more affinity, but again, that is not the end of this effect. We get more when we cover the bubbles. Divine protection song, which gives you the same effect as a divine protection skill, having a chance to reduce the incoming damage by a significant amount for a duration. Some honorable mentions are wind pressure and thermal resistance, all ailments and blights negated effects, and finally the stamina reduction is small and large, but I don't really recommend this song because its effect is very minor. Now that we are done with the songs, we will cover the bubble effects by using the shortcut for echo bubble depending on your console. Mine is a spacebar plus a special attack button. You place a bubble on the ground which actually has a very big area of effect. This effect can last up to 2 minutes, and as long as you stay within the range of this bubble, you can get certain buffs, and if you step outside of it, you will still have those buffs, but they are on a 5-second timer. There are many echo bubble buff effects that I will will put on the screen, but the most interesting ones are attack/affinity up bubble and a stamina recovery bubble. The attack/affinity bubble gives you an extra 10% attack power and 15% affinity, and in case you're wondering, yes, this effect actually does stack with the effect from your song buffs, meaning that you can have up to 20% extra attack power and 30% extra affinity, but there is a catch. As of the moment, there is no hunting horn that has both attack/affinity up bubble as well as the attack up or affinity songs. In fact, only one horn has this bubble effect at the moment, and it is the Congalala hunting horn. But still, if one of your teammates brings a Congalala horn and you bring, for example, the Asharakan horn, you can enjoy your extra 20% power and 30% affinity. Not only you, but your entire team. The other bubble effect is of course the stamina recovery, and this effect is actually very insane because it doesn't care if you are in demon mode or you are constantly dodging with your bow, you will constantly regen your stamina as long as you are within the range and for 5 seconds when you leave the zone. Meaning that you can effectively have infinite demon mode on your dual blades and have a very huge stamina pool for your bow combos. And let me also remind you that each hunting horn can place up to 3 bubble echoes at a time, so you can cover the entire battlefield. Okay, now that we know which song does what, let's go over the best backup hunting horns and what effects they give you. The first backup horn is the Guardian Rathalos horn, and it gives you attack up large and defense up large, but it also gives you the stamina regeneration bubble, which we discussed and is actually very OP for any weapon that is stamina hungry. This means the dual blade and bow users. As you can see in the background, I'm using one of the best Artian replacement dual blades, which by the way, I will make a video in the future covering all the best Artian weapon replacements for every single weapon as of title update 1, but here you can see I'm maintaining my demon form without losing much stamina. But this isn't the only option for the dual blades and bow people, as we have the new Mizusune hunting horn giving you a stamina regeneration bubble, but also earplugs large and affinity up / health recovery songs, which depending on your build and the monster you're facing, this might actually be the better option. Not to mention that this is the only horn that has earplugs large songs and is actually worthy of picking as your backup weapon. The next horn we have is the Asharakan horn, which gives you attack up large as well as earplugs small. As of the moment, there is no horn that gives you both attack up large and earplugs large, so this is the best combo that we have. The echo bubble that it has is the evasion and movement speed up, but the sound effect of this horn is so nice, and I don't know about you guys, but that's a plus for me, and as of the moment, this is my favorite backup weapon hunting horn. The next 2 horns I'm gonna cover are defense horns, and even though some might find it overkill, I still thought that I include these for the people who are interested. And for the first one, we have the non-Ardian version, which is the hardened bone horn, giving you not only the defense up large and attack up large, but it gives you the access to defense and elemental resistance bubble, which combined together makes you very hard to kill. But we can't really talk about a defense horn without covering the Divine Blessing song, which is the best defense song in my opinion. For this song, I think your best option is an Ardian hunting horn, but don't worry, you don't even have to reinforce your Ardian weapon. All you have to do is to slap 3 of the same status parts like blast, paralysis or sleep, and you will have the horn you want. This one will give you the same bubble effects as the hardened bone, but it gives you the divine protection and all elements negated, which is a bonus. You even get the song status attack up. Our final option is obviously going to be the Congalala horn, only and only for the bubble effect attack / affinity up, which is OP as hell, but this horn also has access to defense up large and stamina reduction large if you want to use them, making it a decent option for any weapon really. This horn is also the only option you got to have both attack up and affinity up at the same time. The last thing when it comes to backup hunting horns is the decorations, and honestly because of this specific backup weapons play style, the only decorations I can think of that you can actually slot in and make use of is the quick sheath. The skill sonorous, while it says it increases the duration of the songs, the second you swap your weapon it loses its effect, and in my testings it doesn't really provide any other effect, so maybe comment on the video if you know of a good decoration for a backup hunting horn. Now before we cover the next best backup weapon, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like and comment and maybe even share this video with your friends. We are a very small channel guys, and all of this helps YouTube recommend the channel to new people, so I appreciate if you take a bit of your time and help me out with this. But the next backup weapons though are going to be the BowGuns. You might think that you know exactly which ammo I'm going to talk about, and I know that you're thinking it's just going to be the paralyzes and the sleep ammo, but I can bet you will receive new information in this section, Even for the para and sleep ammo, I'm going to show you the weapons that are capable of sleeping or paralyzing the hardest monsters in the game up to 8 times if you're playing solo. First, I'm going to cover all the important ammo types and explain how they work and what decorations to use in order to improve their effect, so you can get a good understanding of which options are better for you and customize them to your liking. Do not get intimidated by the BowGuns. They are the most simple weapon in the game, and I've already made a video covering the best keybinds you can use for BowGuns on the channel, and I will put a link to that on the top of the description and above the video in a card right now. The first ammo is going to be the slicing ammo. The slicing ammo does a slash damage to a monster and is perfect for people who use a blunt weapon but want to be able to cut a monster's tail or wings very quickly. A slicing ammo is not very good with teammates, but if you are solo, this thing works like magic. I've been able to cut a tempered Raffian and tempered Archfeld's tail just by using 6 of these. Usually BowGun ammos have different levels of power, however the slicing ammo only comes with a level 1 power and you cannot go above that. Also, the slicing ammo cannot proc the effects of Corrupted Mantle, so just a heads up for that. It essentially does 4 instances of the damage to the part it attaches to, and all of these instances of damage can crit and their damage is affected by your base raw power. Even though we're not using this ammo for damage, increasing its damage can help cut a monster's tail faster. Not to mention the skill Part Breaker works with this, but is not a skill that can only be slotted in your armor. Mounting while using this ammo is bad because it makes you have to use twice the ammo you use for cutting a tail. This ammo is also only available on heavy BowGuns. Considering the more damage this ammo does, the faster you cut a part of the monster. Using jewels like crit boost or attack boost is very nice, and you can also use opening shot jewel for faster reloads. The next ammo type is a sticky ammo, which is the opposite of a slicing ammo and does blunt damage and is capable of stunning a monster. This ammo has 3 levels of power, with each level increasing the amount of damage it does, but all 3 levels doing the same exact amount of stun damage. The reason why I have this ammo as a backup weapon option is because of how easy it can stun a monster. On a solo hunt, I was able to stun a monster by only using 3 ammos for the first stun, 5 and 8 for the second and third stuns. The stuns in this game disable the monster for the longest amount of time out of all the disable options, so you have time to swap to your main weapon and do the biggest combo that your weapon has. For example, on Greatsword, I was able to do a TCS combo right after stunning a monster with sticky bombs. For the jewels, I recommend a Slugger jewel for higher stun damage, opening shot for faster reloads, and finally artillery, which actually increases the damage of a sticky ammo. Finally, arriving at our anticipated ammo types, we have poison, sleep, and paralysis ammo. Poisoning a monster damages them over time with little ticks of a certain percentage of their HP. This might be a fixed number for this specific game though, because I have only seen 15 damage numbers when I poison a monster. Paralysis disables a monster for a short time, allowing you to attack them, and finally a sleep will make the monster go to a sleep early, allowing you to set up barrel bombs on the monster, and your next instance of damage while the monster is asleep will be amplified to ×2 damage, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's ×2 damage. All these 3 types of ammos have 2 power levels at the moment. For the decorations though, it is recommended you use Venom, Sleep, or Para jewels to do more status damage, opening shot for faster reloads, and finally crit status if you have enough slots. Crit status jewel isn't really very good on BowGuns in general, but it can help you maybe use 1 or 2 less ammos to proc a status on certain monsters. The food skill specialist can also help with the status proc, and you can cook that by using the food ingredient while seed oil in your tent. The demon ammo and armor ammo I'm not going to talk about, since the hard shell powder and demon powder items already give the same effect as these types of ammos and will only override them. The same thing goes for poison ammo with poison smoke. However, to poison a monster using the poison smoke, you have to be right on top of a monster. That is why I included the poison ammo. Now here comes the question as to which BowGun is better for a backup weapon, and this is kind of complicated, but I will try my best to make this decision easy for you guys. The heavy BowGuns in this game have much better combination of ammos that we just talked about. Obviously, if you want to use the slicing ammo, you have to pick an HPG, but for a sticky and a status ammos, heavy BowGuns end up with certain weapons that have many of these options together, whereas most of the good light BowGuns only ever offer you one of these types of ammos. Another factor is the light BowGuns rapid fire. So if you come to a light BowGuns ammo list, you will see these arrows pointing upwards, and this basically means that the LBG supports quick fire for that certain type of ammo. ammo. This is very important because light bowguns have a special mode which allows the marked ammo to fire multiple times at the cost of 1 ammo. So especially for the status ammos, this helps sleep or paralyze a monster many more times, but again at the cost of having access to only 1 ammo type. Having said that, I will first go over all the best heavy bowgun options, with the first option being the Ramapolo HPG. This bowgun has 7 level 1 poison ammo as well as 3 level 2 sticky ammo, allowing you to stun a monster. The skill on it isn't really that helpful, but you can slot in opening shot and KO level 3, so it makes the weapon have much faster reload and more stun damage. The next HPG is my favorite one, and it is the Narcilla HPG, giving you 4 level 2 sleep ammo, 3 level 1 poison ammo, and 2 slicing ammos. The weapon has terrible skills, but you can slot in opening shot and sleep boost jewels for more sleeps, or you could go crit boost jewel to increase the damage of your slicing ammo. However, I do not recommend that. The next one is Steel Assault, being the best option for slicing ammo because it gives you up to 4 of them, but it doesn't give you any other type of ammo. The skill on this weapon is useless, but your best option for slotting jewels are the crit boost and attack boost to increase the damage of slicing ammo. For the paralyze HPG, you have 2 options. The first option is the Congalala HPG, which gives you 4 level 2 paralysis ammo. This weapon is known to be the minigun of heavy bowguns, so if you like to go full Terminator mode after paralyzing a monster, even as your backup weapon, it does massive amounts of damage because the most skills that are used in meta builds actually increase the damage of Wyvern Heart as well, which is the minigun power basically. Just note that if you want to do that, you need to go for ignition mode upgrade in the customized bowgun. The decorations you can use on this bowgun is opening shot and para attack to paralyze a monster more, but if you want to go full Rambo mode as your backup weapon, you can slot crit boost jewels. But if you want a more status filled heavy bowgun, then I recommend Ian Cut Coup build. This gun has 3 level 2 sticky ammo and 3 level 1 para ammo. However, the skill on this bowgun is a slugger, which actually helps you stun the monster faster, working very well with the sticky ammos. You can fill the slots with the opening shot and paralyzer jewel, or go for artillery if you want more damage on the sticky ammo. Speaking of sticky ammo, the best option for maximum damage with the sticky ammo is Arc Weld Bowgun, giving you 3 level 3 sticky ammos. None of the upgrades on this weapon is going to boost the damage of sticky ammo, but you should slot in a slugger and artillery to boost both your stun power and damage. This bowgun can be really fun to use in combination with a gun lance to give the maximum explosive power. Now that we went over all of the HPG options, as I said, the best status bowguns are in the light bowguns. However, you can only pick 1 ammo. Here, your non-RDN options are going to be the Gravius LVG for a sleep and the Congalala HPG for paralyzing the monster. However, the magazine for these is insanely bad.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Still, if you want to, you can make these 2 weapons and slot in crit status jewel and a sleep or paralyze jewel boost depending on which one you go for. For the RDN option though, don't worry because you don't have to get the insanely good rolls. Just use affinity pieces and pick 3 either paralyze pieces or sleep pieces and make your RDN bowgun. If you want the absolute best option for reinforcements, it is going to be the 5 capacity boost, but you absolutely do not need that much to make this weapon good. You don't have to modify the bowgun, but slot in level 3 crit status and tetrad shot, and finally go either paralyze or a sleep boost jewel depending on which one you went for, and then all you have to do is to slap on your rapid fire magazine mid-fight and shoot the sleep or para ammo. And to tell you how strong this actually is, I was able to sleep Zoshia up to 9 times and paralyze him up to 7 times in solo hunts. But this is it, boys. The video took me more than 10 hours to research and test by myself, not to mention all the farming done to craft all the stuff needed for it, and another full day just to create the video for you guys. All I ask for in return is a sub, like, and a comment. Yes, you can help me a ton just by doing that, so just please take a little bit of your time and do that for me. I appreciate it a lot. Also, you can comment any sorts of criticism you have about the videos. I am trying to increase the quality of my videos, so if you think the colors are off, the music is too loud, or you found a part of video annoying, point it out and I will try my best to make it better on the other videos. With that said though, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and I see you all next time.